of this crisis to help those families? What else can the Commonwealth do to support working families and individuals? I will tell you one more time. On January 1st, 2021, the federal evictions moratorium ends, and court hearings will start for thousands of Virginian families who are struggling to make ends meet. Do you support a no strings attached eviction moratorium until the end of this crisis to help those families? What else can the Commonwealth do to support working families and individuals? Naisha, you have 90 seconds.
I do support the no strings attached. I believe that whatever we can do to help uh, every family in need and it's struggling during this crisis. There's so many families across the nation who are struggling just to pay uh, minimal bills, and so we would have another crisis on our hands with a lot of families being evicted out of their homes with no place to go, which will continue to make this COVID pandemic uh, even greater, because we would have a lot of families out on the streets looking for places to stay in unsafe environments, et cetera, et cetera. So I believe that we should continue to support those families by making sure that they can stay in their homes. So many people have lost their jobs or businesses closing, all sorts of things. So, whatever we can do to support each other in these uncertain times, these are catastrophic times for everyone. Every single person has been affected by this pandemic and what's been going on. We don't need to snowball it out of control with another layer of um, unfortunate people being moved out of their homes. So we need to figure out a way to make sure that the homeowners have
Thank you.
paid also.
Thank you. Gandhi, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you. You know, we have a fund here called the Rainy Day Fund. And if this is not a rainy day, I don't know what is. The government should be using, and especially in the absence of the disastrous federal response to people's pain and suffering as we face COVID, we should be using rainy day funds to support families and to support those struggling with eviction. I cannot tell you the number of unhoused families that we see here in Prince William County and Stafford who don't have any options for support. And as a person who, as a child, I experienced homelessness with working parents because cost is high, there is no care. There is no paid sick leave. There is no support to ensure that all of us can rise together. So, as a legislator, I would support using rainy day funds to help those families struggling during COVID-19.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Candy. Now we go with Pam for 90 seconds.
Okay. I certainly do support expanding um, the eviction moratorium throughout the rest of this pandemic. This is hopefully a temporary situation, and we certainly need relief for our families. They cannot be thrown on the street come December 31st. We have to do something to assist them. So we need to extend that time period for that moratorium. But we also need to address the issue of the rent that has been accruing over time. That is key as well. Even if they aren't evicted, they still owe the rent. So therefore, we need to increase payments of the unemployment so that people can make payments and the landlords who own these houses don't default on their mortgages, because there are two people involved in this. You have the people who live there and the people who own the property who are trying to pay their mortgages as well. So we need to increase benefits to these families so that uh, they don't get deeper and deeper in debt. And I could say I'm probably the only one here who's ever had to go to court to defend someone who was being evicted from their homes and to make sure that the landlord followed the correct rules and regulations before getting someone evicted. And in fact, it was a victory. They did not follow the rules, so that person was not evicted. I understand the pain of
Thank you,
these
Pam.
evictions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So now we're going to go with Rosha. And Rosha, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you so much for that. And I know in my opening statement, I did address that there were many times where I faced eviction and I had to appear in court and deal with landlords kicking me out at a young age while I was in college. But to your point, I do support the no eviction moratorium. But I will say that this no eviction issue, this eviction issue is pre-COVID. Because at times in the state of Virginia, landlords still had the ability to evict people, even in extreme climates. As of now, we're dealing with winter, we're dealing with summer, and landlords still had that capability to evict constituents out of their home. So even after this pandemic, we need to look at legislation to make sure that we are protecting our constituents in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you.